Before we get started with this lesson, I want to let you know that I'm giving away a Zildjian Lunar Crash, just like the one that I am playing in this video. To enter the giveaway for your chance to win, all you have to do is click the link in the description. So please enter, and I hope to be sending one of these to you. Now let's get into the lesson. In this lesson, we're going to talk about what I like to call the swamp shuffle. And this is basically both hands playing eighth notes together, but it lives somewhere in between straight and swing, and it's not all the way over on the swing side of the spectrum, and it's not straight either. It's somewhere in between the cracks. This is one of my favorite grooves to play, and it was quite a challenge to get comfortable playing this, but some of the masters of this type of groove are Charles Connor, who played with Little Richard, and he developed this kind of in-between straight and swing kind of feel, and he called this his choo-choo beat, and you can hear him playing this on You Keep a Knockin' with Little Richard, and that intro was one of the things that influenced John Bonham on his intro to rock and roll. You can also hear Earl Palmer playing in this style on tons of hits, some of them with Little Richard, some of them with Eddie Cochran, and tons of other people. Also, one of my favorite drummers to play this is a guy that I considered a dear friend, and we just lost him recently, and that is the great Carlo Nuccio. And I got to watch Carlo in person, up close, play this style, and it's really a fun, amazing style to play because you can kind of ride the rails in between straight, and sometimes Carlo would play straight 16th notes as a fill, and then he'd come back to this in-between straight and swing thing, and then he would play triplets as a fill, and it's like, oh my God, and it all felt amazing. And sometimes it felt like the train might come off the tracks a little bit, but it never did. And Carlo was an absolute master of this style. So a lot of what I play in this style is coming from Carlo, and I try to do it justice and put my own spin on it. So I've gotten to play this type of swamp shuffle in a couple different situations. I got to play this on Johnny Sansone's The Lord Is Waiting and the Devil Is Too. And I loved playing on that record. If you haven't heard it yet, you can find it anywhere that you listen to music. But that song to me is so powerful, and I loved playing this in-between straight and swing type of kind of swampy shuffle on that tune. And that tune actually got nominated and won Song of the Year for the Memphis Blues Awards. And we went to these Memphis Blues Awards and performed this song there. And also, I was also nominated for Drummer of the Year for the Memphis Blues Awards. I'm honored to say that I lost out to the great Chris Layton, who played with Stevie Ray Vaughan, but it was an honor to get nominated basically for my playing on this record, and I think especially for this tune. I also got an opportunity to play this type of shuffle on the new Krasno Moore record, and I play this on our cover of Amy Winehouse's You Know I'm No Good. And I'm going to demonstrate kind of how we would play this now. And I'm going to start off playing this in between straight and swing, where it should be. And then I'm going to go into where it's going to be a little bit more swung. And you're going to hear it becomes more of a shuffle. And then I'm going to come back where it should be. And then I'm going to straighten it out. Then you're going to hear that it gets a little bit too straight. Then I'm going to come back where it should be. So let's go through all of that now and check this out. So you could hear how when it was in between, it felt very natural and organic. And then when I started to swing it, I was intentionally trying to make it swung too much. Then I came back to where it should be, and that felt really natural and organic to me. And then I was intentionally trying to play it too straight and make it stiff on purpose, and that felt awkward to me. And then I came back to where it should be. So I also love playing this groove on really trashy sounding cymbal. And right now I'm actually giving away this Zildjian Lunar Crash that I helped design with the good folks at Zildjian. And I love this thing, and I've been playing a version of this for years and years and years, and now it's available in the Zildjian concept shop, and I'm gonna give it away. So all you gotta do is click the link in the description to enter for your chance to win this Lunar Crash. So now, getting back into this lesson, let me now play along with the track, and I'm gonna start off playing where it should be, then I'm gonna get into where it's too swung, and you're like, oh God, please don't do that. And then I'm gonna get back to where it should be, and you're like, oh, thank you. And then I'm gonna get over there to where it's too straight, and you're like, oh, please stop. And then I'll get back into where it should be again. Check this out. So hopefully you could hear the difference between when I was playing in between the cracks, in between straight and swing, and things felt nice and organic and natural. But then when I would go over to the two swung side of the spectrum, it would sound a little hokey, and you're probably thinking to yourself, oh, please don't do that. And then I would come back to where it's in between, and it was like a breath of fresh air. When I play too straight, it's a little too stiff, and then come back in between, breath of fresh air, and everything feels natural and organic again. So when you're listening to things that feel and sound like this, you might not pick up on the fact that it's in between. It might just feel good to you. But if you go to try to replicate this or approximate this, you might have to dial in the phrasing. You might be playing with some cats and you realize, wow, this isn't feeling quite right. And maybe the answer is because maybe you're swinging it too much. or maybe you're playing it too straight. But it's up to you as a drummer if you want to have a really great groove and a really good sense of groove and feel. You need to be able to make these fine-tuning adjustments to where you can figure out in an instant if you're playing too swing or if you're playing too straight. And you can dial it in to where everybody's like, oh man, I don't know what it is about that guy, but his feel is amazing. And this is what a lot of the great feel and groove drummers understand inertly. And sometimes it's because they've just been doing it for so long, or they've been playing with so many different people and they have a lot of experience. But for us, sometimes we have to address this and think about it and address it directly and become aware of our phrasing and be able to adjust when we need to. So you may notice that on this cover version of the Amy Winehouse tune, You Know I'm No Good, with Stanton Moore Project, I am adding some accents in there. I'm kind of playing what I would consider the traditional New Orleans accents, that boo, gag, 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 on gag, gag, boom. And then I'm straightening it out for some sections. Da 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 ding gang 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 gang. But the whole time, I have that feel in between straight and swing, and then I go to the snare drum and play kind of a tango-ish thing, but I'm still thinking, I'm not thinking, I'm thinking, so it's kind of like a slushy tango, which I picked up watching Johnny Vidakovich so many times over the years. And he'll do this really kind of cool New Orleans tango. So when I'm thinking on the snare drum of kind of hinting at the tango, I'm still thinking in between straight and swing, and I'm trying not to make it too militaristic. It's still really swampy. So I suggest you record yourself playing grooves like this. You can play a real simple, just straight eights with the hands together, put a mambo bass drum pattern under that, and start off playing in between, and then try to get over into the two swung area, back in between, two straight, back in between, and then listen and try to see how it feels when you're doing that, and then play along to some things, and then compare it to what you might be trying to approximate. Listen and see if you're getting close to sounding like Earl Palmer on some of the Little Richard stuff, or if you're getting close to sounding like Charles Connor on Keep a Knockin', or even John Bonham on Rock and Roll. Everybody loves John Bonham and they love his feel, and he had an innate and a very deep sense of how to play in between straight and swing, and you can really hear that on his recording of the Led Zeppelin tune Rock and Roll. So I truly believe having some of this in your arsenal will greatly improve your groove and your feel. Worked for John Bonham, worked for Earl Palmer, worked for Charles Connor, and it's working for me. So spend some time with this, check it out, and I hope you dug this lesson. Thank you for tuning in. Remember that you can win this Lunar Crash by just clicking that link down below in the description and sign up and enter for your chance to win. And if you're not subscribed to my YouTube channel yet, please do hit that subscribe button, and also hit the like and hit that notification bell so that you can be notified when I'm coming out with new lessons and videos. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you down the line.